Welcome to the AFFIRMFIRST online image control protection and validation system. Here is an inexpensive graphic software system that allows you to scrape images and then build a website from just about any online website. For an example, here I've selected a page from this website. If I take the page URL and enter that to scrape the images from that page, instruct it to import the images, wait just a few seconds whilst it scrapes those images, and then you'll see the images start to load on screen. At this stage, I now have those images to use and can start to rebuild an authentic website page. If, however, I switch to a website which is protected by the AFFIRMFIRST online image control system and I take any page URL, then insert that into the graphic scraping system, you can see the system attempts to scrape the web page in the same way, but it only scrapes useless broken images. Here's a live online demo page of images controlled by AFFIRMFIRST. I'm now logging into the AFFIRMFIRST control panel, which is hosted on the Microsoft Cloud Azure service. I'm logging in but shortening the process visually. Once we log in, you see we've come through to the AF Control dashboard. This is a super user administration dashboard, so it has a couple of extra sections in it, but apart from those, it will be identical to the standard control dashboard. It's a responsive website, so you could control it from a tablet or a mobile phone. And you could upload images directly from your mobile phone, if for instance you were a reporter or someone needing to upload on location in a similar way. This drop-down shows the current client accounts available to switch between on your control panel. So in the example of a design agency, they may have several different client accounts that can be added to the system and built up on an ongoing basis. I'm going to show you around some of the features of the intuitive, easy user interface. There's a standard folder structure where individual websites or web pages, or possibly categories of product images, can be grouped and controlled from. I'm selecting the folder containing the demo web page images we were looking at. Here you can see a summary of the settings for that particular image. If I click on the details for that image, here are the website linking instructions on how to add that image to a web page. In the simplest process, all you need is this line of code placing into the code of the web page. Then that image can be displayed. For alternative sizes of the image on a web page, we use this version of the code, which allows you to enter your required dimensions. It will never distort the image and will always be in proportion, but you can give the image a different height or width. If you change the ratio, it will crop the image one way or the other. If you want to use the image in a protected format, you will then add one line of JavaScript to the header of each page where you want to use any protected images. That one line of code will suffice, no matter how many images there are on that web page. This code enables the image request to talk back to our system and establish what security levels and authentication there is for that image. So we have controls here, which include disabling the image, showing the copyright pop-up symbol, showing the right-click pop-up graphic, which I'll explain in a moment. Here you choose the type of layering when you're in the image protection mode. The very simplest demonstration for me to show is disabling of the image by simply clicking here. Save the changes, and if I go back to the demonstration page and refresh the page, you'll see that the image has now disappeared. The placement space is still there, as you can see by the copyright C symbol, so it's not changed the layout of the page, but it has prevented that image from displaying down that dynamic image link. This demonstrates the powerful instant control you have over an image from the AFFIRMFIRST system. If I switch back to the control panel and back to the details of that image, you can see here that this red text is warning that this image is not live. I'm just going to set it back live, and in just the same way, I can switch off the hover over image copyright C. I mentioned before you can control the right-click graphic pop-up. You can upload those graphics by going to Image Management and going to the Manage Website Copyright pop-ups. Clicking in there, I can show you that you may have various versions you've uploaded. It's simply a process of adding a pop-up graphic. Choose a graphic file on your local machine and select Create Pop-up Image. You can give it a name, and from then on, it's available in your AF system. If I just step back again, I can go in and update this graphic in just the same way. If I go back to that demonstration image, clicking to the detail setting of that image, you can see here that you can choose from the list of available pop-up graphics that are now loaded on the system. This selects which pop-up graphic will display when right-clicking this particular image on a web page. I save the changes here. If I switch back to the demo page and refresh it, then right-click on the image, and the selected copyright pop-up graphic appears. This can be linked to further copyright information displayed on a more detailed web page. To demonstrate another example of how these controlled and protected images look on a live website, this is a fashion website with multiple images. If I select another page, it loads those images rapidly, all displaying the copyright C. This could alternatively be set on the folder default to not display the C, even though the image is still protected. Here's another area on this website where you can select enlargement of images. You can see how quickly the system loads, and the expanded rollover is also very high quality. If I switch to the AFFIRMFIRST website and select the free trial offer page, underneath you'll see that we have been certified for the United Kingdom Cyber Essentials authentication. This certification mark is given out to organisations who have been authenticated by the government scheme. When the badge is added to a page using the AFFIRMFIRST validation system, it gets automatically date-stamped. When a visitor clicks on the badge, it opens up a verification page on the QG Standards web domain. They're an authentication company for cyber essentials. Having intelligently worked through the AFFIRMFIRST process, it verifies that the calling domain is authorized on that scheme or membership, or qualified to show the authentication. A return link assists the viewer to return to the qualified domain as an additional check. So clicking this link takes us back to the website that has been authenticated. Here's another example website showing a fashion sales agent with a different validation graphic, showing they're authorized as a sales agent. If I click on the graphic, it takes us to the main brand website, where that sales agent has been identified as an authenticated agent. The layout of the page is consistent with the web styling for that organization. The sales agent has been identified by the system, and the viewer can return confident in the authentication. The link returns the viewer back to the agent website. This authentication system is set up within the Membership Schemes section of the AFFIRMFIRST control panel. If I go to the Membership Schemes and I navigate to that particular scheme we were just looking at, then I go to Manage Members. I can see here the member we were just looking at. If I go in to edit this member, and I add a membership expire date, I'll set the date in the past, which would mean that the membership has now run out. I update that membership record, and then go back to the web page we were looking at. Refresh that page. You will now see that because the date has run out on that scheme, that it is now not authenticated. This shows the level of control you have on the system. If we switch back to the setup for this scheme, in Settings, you can see that two graphics were originally uploaded, a valid member graphic and a non-validated warning graphic. These can be designed however you want and uploaded. If I go back and change that membership scheme back to valid, select Manage Members, you can see again that the member is in red as a warning about that membership. I change that and update the member record. Then go back to that site, update it, and the validation graphic changes back to a valid mode. Here's one more example site, also protected by AFFIRMFIRST. You can see the graphics are protected. If I try to drag this graphic off, you just see a broken image. If I tried to save it on a mobile phone or tablet, it would also save it as a broken image. All these banner slider images are also switched to protected and running from AFFIRMFIRST, along with other images on the website. Here's a list of the features, and then following those, some benefits, and a summary of the AFFIRMFIRST online image control, protection, and validation system.